you're anything like me, you crave deep, meaningful, mythic connection. The stuff of sitcoms like Friends, the stuff of cult classics like The Breakfast Club, although I guess they're not really friends in that, the stuff of Heartstopper. Real, deep, cinematic friendship that exceeds expectations and heals childhood wounds. And there are no friendship breakups. I took notes about this, so let's talk about it. Growing up, friendship was easy for me. I never really struggled to make friends. I could be anybody's friend, and I liked being anybody's friend. I remember there was one play that I got cast in, and I got cast as the lead, and it was the first time that I was in this new community theater for children. And my mom was like, Annie, it is your job to be friends with everyone. It doesn't matter if they are a Poppy or a Munchkin or the Tin Man. I want you to be friends with them. And like, you be nice to them and you don't be snotty. And I remember that being a big value of mine, wanting to be friends with everybody. There has been a part of me that wants everybody to get along that I've had to kill in order to survive in my life, especially in teenage years and with my family. I really needed to lean into a masculine energy that was toxically independent while simultaneously desperately seeking one person to fulfill my every need. Sound familiar? That combination of being toxically independent while also needing to perform for others, while also really wanting a single person to shift and fix my childhood wounds, created this feeling inside of me, this resentful feeling inside of me around I am not your experience. In my young adult life and into my 20s, the way that I got connection was through performance. I have centered myself and needed to be the center of attention. I would say that would be early childhood, early 20s, which feels like early childhood, honestly. Side note, if you ever saw the TikTok where they were like, I believe the new 18 is 36 years old, because when you're 18 years old, you're an infant as an adult. You have to get 18 years of adulthood experience to actually become an 18-year-old. If I were to describe my behavior in my early 20s, I would say I was very performative and I acted like I had my shit together, when the exact opposite was true. I was needy and clingy and desperate in my romantic relationship. I needed to be in a relationship. I was also poly, and so I needed the validation of many, many others that, like, I need to know that I still got it, which is weird because I was like 22. If anyone's still got it, it would be you. You haven't even lost it yet, Transitioning out of that, I would say I moved into a state of fear and anxiety and needing to please. I moved into a whole new friend group where I had these two best friends who happened to be a couple, and I was very much reliant on them in the same way that I would be a romantic partnership, in an unhealthy way. And my friend group centered around the people that they brought into their lives. And in that dynamic for a couple years, I was very anxious, very pleasing, very go with the flow. In order to maintain that inner circle, I needed to do whatever that couple told me to do. Like, they would literally tell me their observation of me, which happened to be very harsh and judgmental, and I would be like, okay, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change that. You're totally right. Transitioning from those experiences, I am now a little shell-shocked about community, and I have wanted to bring people together. Last Halloween, I had a party, and it was the first time that I threw a party all by myself, and 40 people came, and it was so fun, and I got a lot of help from my friends, which was really nice. That was the first time that I had really put something together on my own and put myself out there. I'm in this place now where I am needing to take a step back. Independence and self-sufficiency and self-fulfillment is very important, but so is community. And those two need to be able to coexist with each other. Coexist, like the bumper sticker. I have a problem with having very high expectations of others and how they can fulfill my needs versus having this high expectation of myself that I can just let people be wherever they're at and have everything that I need within. I'm having a really hard time coming into the middle and even knowing what that middle ground looks like. But I think also like being a performer and someone who is an actor and in the creative arts and like kind of has middle kid syndrome and comes from a narcissist parent, a true narcissist parent, there is a nugget of truth that part of that unhealed generational trauma is in my DNA. And it is my responsibility to face that demon and figure out how to deal with it. I think I'm snotting. So now I'm 28, quickly approaching 29, and I am in hibernation, coming into myself. And while this can turn into an unhealthy behavior, I genuinely think it is of the utmost importance for me right now to learn how to fulfill my emotional needs first. There is something inside of me that I need to address before I can go out and really offer being a good friend, because I have, 7 to 8 years of data now that I can look back and I can see where I have been a good friend, for sure, and I have been a self-serving friend, where it's sort of like, I need you to be truthful, to be reliable, to be not messy in your personal life. I need you not to be cheating on your boyfriend or whatever, in order for us to connect. I'd like to shift that. I believe this hibernation period for me is an opportunity to find inner stability and strength and lay the groundwork, the foundation for new energy. Not only in friendship, but it also is very closely tied to my creativity. It's really important for me to be self-accountable, to be honestly and authentically myself, and learn how to have friendship where I'm not performing, where I'm not overextending myself or people pleasing, which I heard from somebody. They said if you identify as a people pleaser, oftentimes you're not very pleasing to people. We all want authenticity. That's really what we want, not someone who's like, what do you need? What can I get you? Ah! That kind of energy. I would say my masculine energy right now is getting a revamp, where I was coming from like a very kind of like broken masculine energy place where I was like, oh, I need to be solo and push other people away if I don't get what I need, and it's just me, I'm always alone, like I'm never gonna find that one, person who's gonna fulfill me. I'm practicing competence, real competence, not the show of competence where it's like, oh yeah, like I can build a fire and like I chop wood, I'll drive, and like kind of like the masculine trait of like needing to be in control. But really, like, I'm gonna change my own car battery. I'm going to consistently make food for myself. I'm going to consistently meditate and learn how to be my own dad. I'm learning how to enjoy my own company, and I'm deepening into my relationship with myself, where I am having inside jokes and secrets with myself. I think right now I'm learning how to keep those secrets with myself. I'm learning how to keep boundaries in general for myself, with others. What I'm telling myself right now is that it's okay to be in a phase of solitude. It hasn't felt okay in the past. And I would be lying if I was saying, yeah, I'm super comfortable with this phase of solitude. I am actively and intentionally spending most of my time alone. On my weekends, taking myself out to the movies, or going to a bookstore or a coffee shop, or going to a bar by myself. And really, I am really enjoying my time. And I'm also at the same time battling the feeling of I think there's something wrong with me. When we're alone, there it really is about the quality of your alone time. How are we being alone? Are we doing it out of self-punishment? Are we doing it out of toxic independence? Are we doing it out of a place of, I'll always be alone? Or are we doing it out of, I genuinely want to spend time with myself? I don't really feel like getting together with my friends this weekend. I feel like going to the beach by myself. What I am noticing now is that one-on-one connection right now doesn't feel as enticing as it used to, and I'm really feeling drawn back to community groups. I am actually going to a Quaker meeting, not every Sunday, and they're not technically a church. They're a step down from a church where there's no pastor and there's no like biblical overhead. It's more of just a large group of people who all sit in a room together in silence, and then whoever wants to stand up and feels led to speak will. And there are a few people who bring up the Bible, which, if you know anything about my past, that there's an immediate knee-jerk reaction to push that away. But I feel drawn to being in this group right now because I want to address the spiritual trauma, and I want to go back and redefine my relationship to the Bible. I will never say never, but I doubt I will ever believe in the Bible in a organized religion type of way. But I want to feel the freedom to pick and choose what comforts me. I don't want to throw everything out, throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. I am being really drawn to being with my acting group, my acting troupe, I should say. We just had a meeting last night and we all talked about like what our commitment levels were and how often we want to meet to be devising this piece that we're all working on. I have joined a hip-hop dance class that I historically have been going on Tuesday nights, but for the last month I haven't because I've been sick and just circumstances. I do think helping others and getting into the habit of helping others is important. I'm kind of waffling between, does that have to be organized mutual aid groups, or can it just be with my literal neighbors here? You know, does it need to be like in a program, no matter how deconstructed that program is, or can it just be you shifting your mindset into, if I hear someone in need or I see someone needing something, I'm just going to help them, you know? In my solitude, I want to sit back and really meditate on how can I reimagine this mythic idea of this perfect group that's going to save me into how do I want to move about the world and how do I want to feel in connecting with other people. I was listening to like Diary of a CEO. There was a study done on high school students where they studied like kids from all spectrums of popularity, and they found that the most popular kids were the ones who liked the most people. Like the kids that were liked the most people. And that does not work if you're a hater. You know, like you can fake liking others out of performance, which I think I was doing in my early 20s. But did I genuinely like and respect the people that I was around? I was coming from like a broken place and was like, I'm better than them in some way. So however that was, I'm in therapy and they're not. I really care about community and they don't. You know, just like judgments. I genuinely want to be someone who can hang regardless of the circumstance and feel secure in their own body and doesn't need the group or certain people in the group to do anything because I'm all good and I'm just along for the ride. I have found pockets of times where I have felt like that, and I want to be kind with myself where I might not always feel that all the time, and that's okay. I don't have to feel that way all the time, but that is something that I aspire towards. It feels like my molecules are loose and floppy, and other people's energy can get in really easily. I want I don't want to be completely constricted and have a shield. I just want it to come together a little bit more and feel more solidified. I think that will come with this time. Every part of me is a masterpiece. Thank you, Jasmine Sullivan, for that song. That means the part that feels like my ego, is out of control. That means my ego part that thinks I'm incredible and or worthless. That means the part of me that wants to fix other people. That means the part of me that wants to grow and change. That means the part of me that it is a really good friend and is there for other people. All of that creates a beautiful collage of a person. And if we were just these altruistic beings, life would be really boring. We would probably be a little bit more muted, and we just wouldn't be human. We would just be different beings. After all of these things that I have said, and my goals and my hopes and my ambitions and my desire to look at myself with a real, authentic lens, at the end of the day, I'm learning how to surrender and just saying yes to the present moment. In this present moment, when it comes to community, I am feeling more solitary. And rather than dissecting what does that mean and why that is, because I can do that for the rest of my life. I'm really, really good at that. What I want to do is just surrender and say, okay, that's what's happening. I don't have to define or find the deeper meaning or uncover. I can just say yes and sort of lay down my swords and shields and all of these tools that I've used. If I can do that above all else, good things will come from that. There isn't really a script for friendships, and the scripts that we do have, like the sitcom of Friends or the classic of Stand By Me or Heartstopper, they're all lofty goals that are outside of many of our realities, especially in this day and age where people are feeling more and more disconnected and have less and less of the tools to be able to connect. I don't know if this was helpful or interesting, but it is what's been on my mind, and I just wanted to share. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.